All right, what's up, Overcoming the Obstacle? We're back. I got a very special guest, my boy Hash Poetin.
Yes,
We've been knowing each other about a couple of weeks, man, and ever since we known each other, man, the level of energy has been there.
Yes.
Dude has a tremendous testimony, a tremendous organization called Men of Honor, and I'm gonna let him talk about his organization, talk about his testimony, and I hope it bless you guys. So I'm gonna start asking a couple of questions, get this thing rocking.
Yes, sir.
How was your life growing up? And tell everyone the lifestyle it is to live in Trinidad.
Okay, so I was born in a small part of Trinity called Tagarigua. Anybody from Trinidad, they know what Tagarigua is. On a little street called St. Michael Road. And I was born in Mount Hope Hospital. That's in Mount Hope. And September 6, 1979. Trinidad was beautiful. It was beautiful in the sense that it was humble beginnings. So what I remember, man, was poverty, and,
Wow.
and to be honest with you, it's something that I grew to appreciate and love, you know what I'm saying? Because poverty literally humbles you.
Yeah, it sure do.
When you're in a state, it's a state of mind. When you're in an environment where things don't come by easily or come by at all, the food is scarce. You tend to kind of learn to appreciate and understand the fact that everything that you possess could be taken away like that. So when you actually get a chance to having some things, it teaches you how to appreciate, how to say thank you, Lord, which is a big deal because if you were to be born having, you wouldn't, it's something you wouldn't really know anything about. You'd have to experience it yourself. So in my time, it was innocent, it was beautiful, but it was poverty.
Yeah.
So it was kind of rough.
Which made you grateful for things
Yeah,
like that.
yeah. My mom, my mom is a solid woman, man. I thank God for her. She had what it takes. She was crazy in a sense to some people, but she trusted God to an extent that nowadays you wouldn't really see parents. They wouldn't exert this type of trust.
Right,
faith.
facts.
You know what I'm saying? Go ahead.
Oh, okay, my bad. But that leads me to the next question. What was the toughest obstacles you had to endure, and how did you overcome it?
The toughest obstacle, man. The toughest obstacle in Trinidad was.
Oh, just in life. Period,
Oh, in life.
I know you.
Man, I'm not gonna lie. In life, man, it's crazy. I think the biggest obstacle for me might have been, overcoming rejection.
Wow, rejection.
Yeah, and I say that because, after coming from when you don't have, it forces you to venture off into a life that include taking extreme chances, and with those chances comes consequence. Consequence for us as young African Americans now. It has a tendency to put you in this box, where you feel like, this is all I am. And that does something to the mind of the individual, because now you either you go all out to get where you're trying to go, or you remain mentally changed. You know what I'm saying? And a lot of us suffer from that. So I think once I overcome rejection, I was like a new human being after that. Because now it's like, okay, I'm used to closed doors. What else you got? What else you gonna throw
Fresh
out?
breath there,
Yeah, you know what I'm saying?
Facts.
Yeah, you know what I mean?
All right. like I said earlier, he got an organization called Men of Honor. So I'm gonna let him talk about it and tell you guys how it formed and basically a brief background about this terrific organization of Men of Honor.
Okay, so Men of Honor, man, is something that I think that it was always a part of me, and you know, I draw. I naturally, you know, I draw by nature. You know? I know how to draw, so and I'm a visionary. So, you know, I believe some of the greatest things you are able to see is actually with your eyes closed.
Wow.
So, you know, I looked at this picture one time, like I was sharing with Aaron before, and I just was looking at some guys that was in formation in the Marine, and they was lined up, and there was a guy at the end of the line, which was the front of the picture, that was tipping his hat, and I believe that's a part of formation when they line up with the Marines. So I just seen it, and I just connected with that. It was like it was astronomical,
Yeah,
because I saw it and I was like, man. So, and I always challenge myself. So I could just about draw anything, but live art was something that I wanted to perfect. So I started to really get into drawing people. So I took that, I extracted that in particular guy, and the guy on the picture was white, and I drew him on a piece of paper, and I added the scarf. Because the scarf symbolized a form of storm that he went through to get there. So the picture turned out to be pretty vivid. It kind of, you would instantly envision a man who'd been through some storms.
Wow.
And the uniform is symbolized that he made it to something honorable from the storm. So it was like I had to put both pieces together, and I was always connected to anything honorable. Like I like honor. I grew up watching movies like In the Beginning, where it starts from the beginning of the Bible all the way until Abraham actually had to sacrifice his son.
Yeah.
So I think it's the first 22 chapters of the Bible, and I watched movies like 300. You know what I mean? You know, David and Goliath. You know what I mean? Anything that had to do with some form of honor was attractive to me. You know, I even watched Spartacus and connected to Spartacus. So all these movies, it was like it visualized what attracted me.
Right.
And so it was easy to connect with Men of Honor. And the name came about because you know, I feel like men don't have an outlet. We don't have an outlet, and I'm okay with women supporting women and uplifting women, but I didn't see any outlet for men, and I feel like it was a huge need because we're projected to be almost made out of bricks, to where we're not supposed to feel, and actually that's a complete lie, because we're men. We were designed the same way, you know what I'm saying, as human beings, to feel. And a lot of times now we are in a place where they want us to project this solid image that we don't possess feelings, and to me that's foolishness.
Trying to act all hard.
Yeah,
You know,
yeah.
That's what's wrong with, you know, and then too, just how the rappers, you know, expressing, like you said in the last interview, you know, rappers, they tell what they've been through.
Yeah.
So sometimes when you got the young boy that trying to act hard and didn't really go through the struggle, they listen to another person's struggle and they try to be that person.
Yeah.
But you can't be that person because of the fact that that's a whole different struggle.
Yeah, you didn't
And
walk that
they
way.
just expressing their pain. I'm trying to get through this, and while you trying to become that struggle, it's just not gonna work.
Right.
So, Man of Honor is since I heard that, I was like, man, that's gonna be great, because a lot of young boys need to hear that, especially us colored brothers, you know. And as when I was growing up, when he was growing up, you know, we hear a lot of things, do a lot of things, and sometimes people grow up without fathers.
Yes.
And this man gonna do it. I mean, he got a great plan to help a lot of people out, man. And if you could give any encouragement or words of advice to any listener, what would you say?
I would say have a healthy fear of God, is what I would tell you. It's good to have a healthy fear of God. I know a lot of people, they try to run away, and they would try to label conversations of this nature to be somewhat religious. People will put you into brackets.
Right.
But let's just be honest, it's a higher being that allowed us to be able to live and have the things that we have. And I think once we put that in perspective, a lot of things will fall in place. Because, you know, a lot of times, a lot of us, we don't believe. We don't believe, and that's fine. You're entitled to your own beliefs. But I would, if you was to ask me, I would say have a healthy fear of God first.
Man.
That'd be the first thing.
That's dope. I'm gonna leave y'all with a scripture, Philippians 4:8-9, and it reads: "Finally, brothers and sisters, whatever is true, whatever is noble, whatever is right, whatever is pure, whatever is lovely, whatever is admirable, if anything is excellent or praiseworthy, think about such things. Whether you have learned or received or heard from me or seen in me, put into practice, and the God of peace will be with you. You all be blessed and you guys be encouraged."
Definitely. Peace.